Andrew here, and I have a question for you. Do you have a job? I've talked a bit about the coming storm that may not be the coming storm, that may actually, in fact, be the storm that we are in, the economic and cultural upheaval that is going to occur over the next 5 to 10 years. And to get through that, if the economics are going to be as disastrous as, well, the last one in the Great Depression in the 30s, if the economics are going to be that bad, you need to have a darn good job, right? Wrong. The question, do you have a job, is a trick question. Because the answer, unless you are self-employed, is no, you don't have a job. Your employer has a job. You have a skill set. What is actually going on when we talk about your job or my job is my employer's job that he pays me to do because I have a skill set that fills his needs. So it's not a question of whether you have a job. It's a question of how valuable is your skill set? How easily can your employer replace what you bring to the table? I've talked about making your income anti-fragile, expanding your streams of income. There is a way, another idea in making your income anti-fragile, and that is to make yourself indispensable. Make it so that you are the only person out of 7 billion on this planet who can do your job. Because remember, it's not yours, it's your employer's. Who can do that set of things that your employer pays you to do. I got to thinking about this over the last couple of days for the very plain reason that I had my annual review this afternoon. And I have a very specific expertise in a very specific kind of field. Fortunately, my employer needs the expertise that I have developed in the field that I developed it in order to produce its product. I, funny enough, have no particular expertise in the product my employer creates. But in the whole great, enormous field of mechanical engineering, I have drilled down to have a very specific skill set that has become very, very valuable to my employer. Am I the only person out of 7 billion who can do it? No. That's the extreme case. The simpler case is, how easily can your employer replace your skill set? How much pain would it cost him? In other words, what is your employer's opportunity cost of replacing you? And if the opportunity cost of replacing you is greater than the value that you bring, you are employed, as long as your company, your employer, is in business. So, what do you bring to the table? What unique things do you bring to the table? Let's just quickly go back to Scott Adams and the idea of the skill stack. You have 5 unique skills that your employer needs. You're not the best in the world at any one of them, but you're top 20% at all of them. If you can be top 20% at 5 skills, every one of which your employer needs, and you have merged them into one job description, replacing you would be a nightmare. Now, that isn't to say you should be trying to hold your employer hostage, because that would make, if you're trying to hold your employer hostage in bad economic times, suddenly the opportunity cost of replacing you might be lower than the cost of keeping you. So, what do you do? How do you become indispensable? How do you become the only person on the planet who can do the job you do the way you do it for the person that you work for? Well, here's what I say. I haven't a fucking clue. I don't know anything about your job. What I do know is about my job. And I had this skill and this skill and this skill and this skill. And my employer said, well, you know what? It'd be really great if you got this skill and this skill as well. And so guess what? I'm doing it. I will do my best to become the top 20% in those skills. I may never get there, but because I have such high skill sets in the areas that are so necessary for so much of my job, adding those other skills simply makes me more valuable. Makes it harder to get rid of me, makes the opportunity cost of getting rid of me greater. Nobody is indispensable. Nobody owns his own job. But you can make yourself less dispensable. Yes, you can make yourself, you're not indispensable, but you can make yourself less dispensable. So get out there and do it. And don't wait. Dig in. I'm recording this on Thursday night at sunset, and yes, I'm going to wrap up very soon as the setting sun's starting to get in the way. Oh, hey there, that looks better. Looks silly, but it looks better. As the setting sun is getting in the way, I'll wrap up. Become less dispensable. Become more valuable. Dig in, grind, work harder. That's another way to reduce the fragility of your income. So, having said that, thanks for watching. Maybe give me a like, maybe leave a comment, maybe even subscribe, tell a friend. And until next time, take care, and you'll see me soon.